We're going live. Welcome back to our brand new episode of the Two Blues podcast, a full match reaction hosted as always by myself and my co-host, Mr. C Money Picks, with that fresh trimmers. You know how it goes, bro. We only get skin fades over. We only get buzz cut gang over air, bro. How you been, bro? Big day of football. What was it? 3-2 Chelsea, 4-3 Liverpool, 3-3 City, man. It's goals galore today, but Chelsea, man. Bruv, my heart's just about, what is it, 8 o'clock. My heart is just about stopped pumping, bro. How you feeling?
Yeah, man, that was fun. You know, I've never seen 10 men look so good yet look so bad at the same time. It was a pretty up and down game. You know, I think it's one of those ones where you look at the stats and whatnot, they don't look too friendly. But I thought we were the better side on the day. I thought that we do what we have to do. I thought we had a couple of bright sparks. I thought Mudryk did pretty good. It's not really a popular take. I thought Mudryk did pretty good today. Levi Colwill, he looked great, and not just the goal. I thought that all around great performance. Caicedo we'll get onto in a little bit. I've got some words for him, but the man of the hour for me, I think, was Enzo Fernandez. I think it's his standout performance in a Chelsea shirt. I think he bossed it. You know, you can say what you want about the two goals, but the first one, nice setup and whatnot. But the second, to the penalty, what I like about the penalty is the fact that Enzo was a penalty taker, and he's kind of been pushed out of that role a little bit more, especially with like Cole Palmer 4-4. And Cole Palmer was literally waiting to come on when that penalty was called. So I was surprised he didn't come on and back on. I thought they were going to do that, to be fair. I thought they were going to just be like, get Cole on and let him have it. But they trusted Enzo with it. And he trusted himself with it, and he dispatched it with calmness, with ease, everything. Just bottom right, bang, it's snipe. And yeah, great performance from him. Once again, passing range on full display. He looked good defensively as well. Obviously, there is the occasional like choppy footed now and then, but he's getting there. He will. But yeah, if you're going to point the finger about someone getting involved and chopping legs, Caicedo would be the man to talk to about that, because there was a little 5-10 minute window about 10 minutes after he got booked, where he could have got booked 2 or 3 times in that sequence. So yeah, man, I don't know. And then Billy Gilmore ends up getting booked. That was brilliant.
That was lucky, bro. You know what? I know we both messaged each other about it as well, but I was kind of, half of me, I mean, I don't know, this is just intrusive thoughts, but half of me was watching that game going, you know what? I hope he gets sent off, because at that point of the game, I was like, rah, if we come out of this game with 9 men, win, we could just banter Tottenham so hard about the fact that they went down. 9 men was their excuse, and they got turned over by us in a bad patch. And if we had beaten Brighton today with 9 men, that would have been nuts. But yeah, I say to man, what was the brother thinking? I know the guy's young. I mean, he's like 4 years younger than me, so I can't really be like, he's mature. He knows what he's doing. He's still young, but a couple of years in the Premier League, playing at the top level, he knows he should know what he's doing. He should know better than that, and he was lucky today. I mean, there were a couple of decisions that went our way. There were a couple that didn't as well. The ebb and flow of the game, as it usually is. But Caicedo was definitely, I'm glad we agree, Caicedo was definitely lucky to still be on that pitch. We found the shooter joining us. And bro, the telepathy is real, man. Just before we jumped on, we were talking about 100 episodes. We need a very special idea for our 100th episode. And I mean, the usual thing is guests. We could go for a guest, but we've been
24-hour live stream phone-in session, yeah.
I want to think outside the box, man. 24 hours. I could take a day. Listen, bro, I ain't taken a day off work since I started, so I could take a day off work. PS5 it up.
If you man are cool with me bunning on stream, I'm there, bro. I'm so there.
Bro, TikTok's already written me up like twice for that. I keep being like, why? Why is it happening? They're like, bro, you're doing drugs. I'm like, that might be it. That might just be it. But sure, appreciate you joining us, bro. Appreciate you joining us. And yeah, man, a big win today. We all said that today was a must-win game for Chelsea. Absolutely huge. It looked at times like we didn't. And before we kind of go on to more, and I do want to kind of run through the squad, obviously talk about Paul's and talk about individual player performances, kind of one by one, obviously skipping for a few. But before that, I just want to say, one thing that I noticed about Chelsea, and one thing we've both said before, is our lack of ruthlessness. You know, when we tend to go up, when we tend to go 2-3 goals up, even we tend to lack the ability to finish the game off, to kill the game as good quality as the best teams do. And again, twice today we went up by 2. And that 2-goal cushion just isn't enough for us. Refute that statement. 2-goal cushion seems to be enough for us. We seem to hit that 2-goal cushion and say that's good. That's game over. And we don't seem to understand every time Chelsea go to 2 goals and then concede, because let's be honest, it's inevitable.
Happens,
bro. My heart is on edge. And today, even when we were 3-1 up again, heart's on edge. 32, 3-2 lost. Bro, I can't even begin to describe my nerves. I'm running out of words to describe my nerves. What this Chelsea side do to me in terms of stress, bro. Why they can't just do simple jobs in terms of picking up their men. And a lot of it, I think, has got to stem from the fact that they do not have any confidence in the keeper behind them.
Yeah, that's it.
Bro, Robert Sanchez. I mean, my dad was saying to me, bro, my dad came down. He was like, Robert Sanchez made some good saves today. I was like, bro, he nearly tapped the ball into his own net. I was like, he's been talking about his saves, bro. He's playing for Chelsea Football Club. Regardless of whether it's 20 mil, 100 mil, whatever it is, number 1 goalkeeper for Chelsea Football Club. And that mistake, if it had gone in, I would have been all over that in terms of all over social media, everything slating him. But either way, it's inexcusable, bro. These constant mistakes, and I do feel like a lot of it comes from that number 1 position. And if we are gonna, like David Ornstein said in the last couple of weeks, we are looking to reinforce at the back. In terms of keepers, obviously, I know we're both disappointed as well at Petrovic angle minutes. But who would you be looking to in January? I'm assuming you would also be looking for reinforcements in the goalkeeping area. Who would you be looking to?
Yeah, it's a conversation I'm sick of having, to be fair, brother. Like, I just, every goalkeeper that we seem to want and go in for, they either get snapped up by someone who's a rival of ours, or they end up coming to us and they're just a frowning disappointment. So, it's difficult to find someone that I would like. I've always wanted Donnarumma to be our number 1 goalkeeper for about 5-6 years. It's just never seemed like it's ever going to happen, ever.
Do you see his red card today?
Nope.
Bro, go on Twitter. I mean, Phil, I was going to say after the stream, feel free to go now if you've got a device available. Go on Twitter, tap it. Look at Donnarumma's red card, bro. He karate chopped man in the chin, like 30 yards outside the box. He was just standing there outside his box. He waited for the ball to bounce like twice. Bro ran alongside the whole defense and he just hit man in the face. I mean, there weren't even that much contact, but it was just crazy, bro. He put his foot that high, and they were saying. I mean, I don't watch PSG week in, week out. But they were saying that Donnarumma's form has been shaky recently. And obviously, you're back in Donnarumma there. My first name is Manyan. And apparently, Manyan's been shit this year. I don't watch too much of AC Milan. But I mean, goalkeepers are so... It's such a fickle position, such a difficult position to play. Because when you make an error, it usually, 9 times out of 10 results in a goal. Whereas if you play somewhere else on the pitch, if you make an error, it doesn't result as a goal. Do you feel like we are being a little bit too harsh on Robert Sanchez, given that we bought him for 20 million? He was Brighton's backup goalkeeper. Do you feel like we are being a bit too harsh from him? Or do you feel like, I personally feel like he's our first choice keeper. We expect more from him.
Yeah, I definitely expect more than what we've got. I think, it's interesting you saying whatnot about your pops coming down and talking about his success, because my stepdad had done the same thing. I mean, like, I think it's a case of perspective. After the Man City game, I had a quite deep chat with my stepdad about like what the result and my thoughts on our form and whatnot. And the first thing I said was, I just think Robert Sanchez is a big problem and he needs to go. And he said, "What are you talking about? Like, he kept us in the game. There were many big saves there." And he's right. I'm not going to deny it. Like, he did get called into action to make a lot of big saves. He also conceded 4 goals. Like, say what you want about it, but the scoreline is 4-4. And, conceding 1 or 2 in a game, shit happens. It's your role. And as you said, it's one of those positions where if you make a mistake, it's not just going to slip to the next person behind you, because the next thing behind you is in the back of the net, So to be making one of those in every game is pretty inconsistent. Well, it's consistently not good. And we seem to be conceding in the majority of games. A lot of the time it's, but can you blame Sanchez here? Could the defenders have done more, like the Thiago Silva essential own goal the other week where he turns around and barely touches it and lets a striker get a one-on-one, bang, it's in the bottom left. Like, it's frustrating, and you can't really blame the keeper for that. But when, you're conceding 4 here and then 2 here and then 3 here and then like 2 today against Brighton, and they're avoidable, and it can get really frustrating. I think that's the one thing that I think is the sort of cause for concern. I think that, being the generation that we are now, we don't have much time for errors because the game is a lot faster, it's a lot harder, it's a lot sharper, and you can't afford to make these mistakes. Whereas maybe a generation prior, these mistakes, they are covered, and you do have a bit more of like, the centre-backs weren't pushing forward as much, and full-backs would be defenders, and, you had 4 people looking after you. So I can imagine why it's all right, like he's doing his thing. But now the game is just not developed like that, so we don't have time to afford these mistakes. And it's interesting that the 2 players that we would call in have been in shaky form, because I think it's really difficult for a goalkeeper to stay in top form for a very, very long period of time. And you look at goalkeepers like David De Gea and Hugo Lloris, the teams that they played for absolutely loved them, and they were club heroes for near part of a decade. But to me, I always saw the pair of them as very, very mistake prone, because the mistakes that would come would be thick and fast. And Petr Cech was never mistake prone. Thibaut Courtois was never mistake prone. He made one or two howlers. Yeah, 1 or 2 howlers here and there in his career.
That one I've got to disagree with. That one I got to disagree. Now he's world class, and I know in hindsight we made a mistake selling him. We should have kept him. World's top 3, top 5 goalkeeper, but Thibaut Courtois caught a fair amount of slack for good reason. I think he made quite a few howlers at Chelsea. Maybe that was because of the defense, though. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know, but listen, if you were to compare it with David De Gea and Hugo Lloris, I would say Courtois out of the 3 of them, unquestionably made the less, at least goal conceding errors. You know what I mean? And they're considered world class. So I just think that the position is very difficult to be at consistent form for a very, very long period of time. And although Robert Sanchez, he has been up and down and been making these mistakes, I think that personally it's too many. It's too many, and they're too often, and it happens against bad sides. And we shouldn't be losing like this to Brighton. We should not be losing 4-1 to Newcastle. We shouldn't be having these losses at the beginning of the season to West Ham. With completely, say what you want about the attack, meaning that we, not scoring the opportunities they should have. We pushed too many people up, and we end up conceding. And he wasn't. I don't even know if he was in goal there. I don't even know if we had him as our number 1 at that point. But what we've been going through with our number 1 situation is. It explains so much. We blame our midfield. We get a new midfield. It's fine. We blame our attackers. We get a new attack. It's whatever. We've got Paul Palmer. We get a new defense. It's whatever. Get a new goalkeeper. No flag. I think we just needed a new goalkeeper, thick and fast, a world-class keeper, and it would bring us to the top.
I can't lie. I feel like you just nailed the DNA of the majority of the toxic Chelsea fan base, in that, as soon as you plug a gap, as soon as we solve a problem, there's another problem. There's something else to address. There's more money to be spent. At this point, I mean, there were a lot of keepers available in the summer. Obviously, we went for Robert Sanchez as a fairly budget option in terms of 20 mil. I've got to ask you a question. I know they've both made their fair shares of mistakes, and one of them has been more publicly.
I prefer him to Onana. Yeah,
you prefer him to Onana in terms of a long-term first choice goalkeeper, because we still have to go out and sign a first choice long-term goalkeeper. Do you think Onana has the potential to be that? And this is just a little transition phase, or do you think that because Robert Sanchez could be a very expensive 20 mil, just stopgap for a season?
Yeah, I don't know, because I think that the problem with Onana is a lot of the losses that he had, a lot of the mistakes that he had made were quite. You can't blame him too tough. A lot of it was confidence-based issues, I find, and the form Man United were in was abysmal. I say that with the form Chelsea are in not being too tough. I don't know, man. I think that it depends on the back line he plays with. He might have got on like a house on fire with Colwell and them lot, and then he would have played out of his skin, or he would have tanked worse than Sanchez. There's no way to predict these things. I'm happy with the option that we ended up with, because to be honest, I think some of the performances Onana has is just straight up diabolical. And I can't say the same thing about any Robert Sanchez performance. The worst I could say is very poor. So I'll take that any day. When it comes to goalkeepers on the market, I just struggle to think of anyone who's both available and of the top like of the highest quality. You have a goalkeeper like Emi Martinez who might deserve to play for a top side, and I would love to see him at Chelsea. I mean, he's got the right passion. He's got Enzo there for him, and if he comes, we might be able to steal a Julian Alvarez in 2 or 3 years when they Sterling him off.
You say a top side, aren't Aston Villa top 4? I'm just grabbing my phone to check. Aston Villa are 4th at the moment. 14 games played, 2 points clear of Spurs, 3 of Newcastle.
You know what I mean by a top side, G. You know what I mean by a top side.
Bro, Aston Villa are a top side, G.
Yeah, Leicester were a top side too, not too long ago, brother. And then West Ham
Aston
were
Villa
a top
got
side
longevity, man. I was telling you, lot, in the preseason predictions. My dark horse. Also, I was looking back over that video and we absolutely nailed. Well, actually, to be honest, I didn't watch yours, so I can't vouch for yours. But I'm gonna go with we absolutely nailed our predictions in terms of like the dark horse, who's gonna flop, who's gonna succeed, overperform. Absolutely nailed that. So if you haven't watched already and you're watching now, make sure to go and watch that. Also, I'm pretty sure I didn't even say, go and follow at Two Blues Podcast on the Instagram, on the TikTok, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Get involved in the comments. And Kieran, appreciate you tuning in, my guy. Love for that. If you're still watching, would you rather us signed Onana in the summer, or would you rather, us have Sanchez and be in our current predicament? Another brother joining us. What's up from Just OMG? OMG, it's been a minute, man. Thank you very much. Everyone watching, 900 subs. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Get that to 1,000, man. We're 9/10 of the way there. So monetization and the watch hours need to be run up as well, but I'm not going to get you to do that because that's laborious. All I'm going to ask you to do is like, comment, and subscribe. It's free. It's easy. Don't take no time. Don't take no money. You know what it is, man.
And
Come on.
On that note, I'm not going to lie. I am going to make you do something laborious. If you've got any love for us, you'll open up a new tab right now. Go to Blue. Just click the last video and just leave it running in the background. And you'll go on your mum's computer and do the same thing. But that's only if you got love for us. But that's cool because when we want 50K at the end of at the end of next year, I'm going to remember that OMG. Like, oh, you remember that time when we asked OMG to like set up a stream and like he just said W, like he was like, "What's up?" in the chat, and that was it. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm just joking, man. First episode of the new Soccer Saturday.
OMG, you're our guest, my G. Soon as we get to hosting things, you're there, my boy. VIP pass. And Kieran as well, obviously, my boy. Stick by Sanchez. Well, I think we're all in agreement there. It could be, it's bad.
It could be worse.
But it could be worse. We could be united.
We're not united.
And before we run on that, I mean, we'll get more into the end of the game. So give me a brief overview. Given that United have lost and we've won, we're on a high. They're on a massive loss this weekend. How are you feeling about Wednesday, Man United Chelsea?
Same thing I felt the week before, and then the week before that, and then the week before that. I can't wait. I can't wait. I don't know. I don't understand why there's comparisons between what Chelsea and United have gone through, because the difference is Chelsea have had like 35 signings, $1 billion spent and 800 million sold, and like a completely new in and out. But what's it? They've been going. Chelsea have been dipping in and out of a really, really difficult time that was expected to be difficult. United were expected to essentially win the league, or at least challenge to try and win the league this year. They had no problems going into the season. Everything looked good. They had a new manager. Bruno Fernandes was on a high. They looked like they were going to get a new up-and-coming young striker in Rasmus Højlund that was going to bang in goals left and right. And it was exciting times. And they got Andre Onana, world-class goalkeeper, replaced David De Gea. They got everything they asked for. And they made their bed and absolutely shat on it. And the tactics they're playing on don't make sense. They're getting people running way too high. They're relying on Alejandro Garnacho to be banging in goals when at the beginning of last year, this kid
I'm really starting to hate that guy, I know he's talented, but bro, he's well arrogant, bro. When he scored that first goal, I was like, not even last night against Galatasaray. I was like, bro, you've just scored against Galatasaray, bro. Big man, who are you shushing? Calm yourself. You're getting tattoos
running around like shushing
of a man and stuff on his body. Like, bro, you got to get no homo tattooed first, bro. That is a brazy move. Shooter as well. Don't watch that. You would. Why would you need a VIP pass when you're going to be hosting the UFC segment of the show, my G? Don't watch that, my guy. Don't watch that. See money picks.
That's what I'm saying.
Here,
but no, I know why he's
out here representing, bro.
losing 100 quid last night. Let's go. But what's it called?
You lost 100 quid.
I went O for everything. That last night was the worst
What a terrible time for me to promote Charms's bench. Should have left that shit to the end. You should have just you should have told me before stream. Definitely,
no, it's okay. I'm too honest for this job.
Didn't expect to challenge, but that is as far as I will go to defend us. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what could be said for Man United at the moment. Shooter, what are you thinking on Wednesday night in terms of score prediction? You thinking United going to put up a fight or Chelsea going to turn you over?
I'll put it like this, Shooter. I've got a tenner on the middle of the table for Wednesday night. If you're on it, brother, I've got that sitting right there. Draw Charms, is a void bet.
Give us a score prediction real quick. I know it's early. We'll do a pre-match stream proper.
I'll say it how it is. I think that if we don't win this game 2 or 3-0, that we've underperformed. I'll say it.
At Old Trafford.
I'll be that guy.
Chelsea at Old Trafford after recent years.
I believe it. I genuinely believe it. I've got a feeling going into this one, it's pack season, and I think the football that we're playing at the minute is better than the football that United. It is. It's pack. I think that the football that we're playing at the minute is better than United. I think that we're more dynamic. I think we're more aggressive. I think we're more defensively sound. Somehow I'm able to say this, but I think we've got a bit of a cooler mentality. We're a bit less aggressive unnecessarily. We're a bit more composed. And at the minute, we've been absolutely chopping people. And yeah,
I was going to say, bro, what about Gallagher today? Yeah,
look at what United have been doing. Yeah, they're absolutely going ballistic. As soon as a 60-minute mark goes and they're blowing, they're literally just committing fouls so that there can be a stopping play. I don't know what is happening at United, but I genuinely think that in my lifetime, in the 25 years I've been alive, this is the lowest I've seen at Man United side. And it's if there's ever a time we're going to capitalise on it, it's now. And, they got the same winners' DNA that we have. And as much as I hate to admit it, it's true. They don't have that Tottenham in them. They have got that dog to go out there and win games they shouldn't win, score goals they shouldn't score. The same thing that we've seen time and time again. And I just think that in the position they are, I think that it will be quite a tight game until it's not. It will be 0-0 until Palmer or Sterling will flip it. And then they'll start pushing too much, and then it will be 2, and then it will be 3, and they'll wake up in the morning and Ten Hag will be at Job Centre Plus. I genuinely believe that's what's going to happen. I think that he won't play the right tactics. I think he'll try and push down the flanks and not show any respects to our fullbacks who have been fantastic all season. Say what you want about Cucurella, about Reece James when he's fit. They're great. Like Cucurella, I've got a lot more love for him in the last 15 fixtures. And I think he can hold down whatever they throw at us. Alejandro Garnacho, bro, like, you see what I mean? This is the attacking force that they're starting at the moment. Like, it's not. Where's Bruno Fernandes been? Where's he been? Where's the cause for him?
He's been 5 yards away from the referee, fucking whinging over his shoulder all season. Bro. Honestly, I do not understand how you can look at that. I mean, talent aside, yes, fantastic player, brilliant midfielder, whatever you want to say.
For half the game?
Bro, how can you watch a game? I mean, these managers must have they must see a different game to what we see up in the stands, because some of these decisions, I mean, to make Bruno Fernandes captain is absolutely wild. As soon as Man United goes down the goal, he is dreadful. But this ain't the Man United show. We are looking forward, hopefully, to one player joining our squad. Obviously, injuries again with Malagusto, etc. We'll have Reece James and Cucurella back after serving their. Reece James will be back, innit? After 2 yellow cards, just one game back. But Reece James and Cucurella both back on Wednesday. And potentially, I mean, we were teased today. And also, I've just got to, give a quick little fuck you to every single Twitter journalist that said Nkunku was going to be on the bench today. Bro, you lot do not know what you're talking about. Suck your mums, get a proper fucking job. We just do this shit for banter. We're just trying to report to the people. I'm not trying to, spread misinformation to you lot. So, pattern up, get your sources correct. And Nkunku was nowhere near the starting lineup. That's why I said in our short, we, take this with a pinch of salt. We don't expect him to be in the starting 11. But Old Trafford was reportedly about a month and a half ago always the deadline. So fingers crossed he'll be involved on Wednesday, as well as Reece James, Cucurella, and a couple of players obviously going into that game in great form. Now, before, I mean, you mentioned Mudryk. There were a couple of other players. I think Badia Shildasasi that had great games. But two players that I just want to discuss. And bro, take as much time as you want. Talk to me about Thiago Silva, the oldest player to ever play in the Premier League. Confirmed today. I think his name was Colin Campbell, the geezer that he overtook. Absolutely sublime, has the best, football, more footballing intelligence than anybody I've ever seen in the Premier League. Top 5 centre-back in the world, whatever you want to call it. Talk to me about Thiago Silva and Enzo Fernandez, bro. What a performance from Enzo Fernandez today. I mean, I don't know about you, clearly my man of the match.
Yeah. I think it would be hard to argue, man. He just seems like he walked onto that pitch with a 3-game win streak. So a 3-kill streak. He had a UAV on him. He just sat there and he just knew where everyone was. It was like red dots everywhere. His head movement, there were points, I hate being that guy. There were points when I was watching it, and because obviously you can tell when he's having a good game. I was just seeing him off the ball, and it was the Iniesta, it was the Iniesta all over again. It's the shabby, the looking around before the ball's got to him, and when it got there, it's another check, and then it's like movement, and then an action. It's just good to see because it's been a while that we've struggled in midfield, and we've always been a team that's been very defensively solid, historically very known for our defensive football, and I think that the build-up in the midfield is something that when we're at our top, that's the key to it. Frank Lampard was perfect at transitioning that ball from defence to attack, and then he scored more goals than anyone from outside the box. So I've been waiting for that same sort of threat from in behind, and I haven't felt that for a minute. And when I heard for the first time a couple months ago about the double pivot that we were planning, I was a bit like that. It's a good idea, but I want to see it happen. And now that Enzo's putting in the shifts that he is, it's like wow, like this is what we need. This is like what Fabregas was bringing to us. You know what I mean? Like when we had Fabregas, it was like finally like a playmaker who like will do it. And Enzo is turning into that guy, and he's adding goals into his game, which is a very interesting prospect. The attackers in front of him, the ball in behind from Mudryk, which won the penalty. It was on an absolute dime. It literally slowed down as Mudryk was getting to it, and it was fantastic, man. You can't. Are
you confident that was a penalty? By the way, obviously that was seen as a contentious position, really. Because the commentator, I don't know what stream you were watching, but a commentator on the stream I was watching, I think it was an American stream, was like, never a penalty, upper body, 50-50, never a penalty.
That's the commentary. Yeah, that's the commentary I was listening to. I heard him just tweaking out, saying it was all upper body. I was watching it thinking, listen, if it's given, it's given. As soon as he goes to the monitor, I knew it was going to be given, because when you actually look at the challenge, right, there is contact. Say what you want to know about minimal contact. Bro, if upper body shoulder barging like that we're normally did into Mudryk is considered not a foul because it's only upper body, like football would be completely different, bro. I just brick fall into man and it would never be a foul.
Wait,
like,
you think the upper body bit was the foul?
No. The feet tap, like he gets his leg, he gets his leg in. I just think that like there's the challenge and then there's follow through, right? And the challenge was always gonna have follow through because of the way he's put his weight into Mudryk like that. Like you see, because I understand James Milner, very, very experienced, he knows how to win the ball in that position. But it's almost like he didn't realise how light Mudryk was going to be. So when he tippled over, he's put a bit too much into it. So he's clipped him, not really clipped him, but as soon as there's a little like contact, you have to give it because there's contact on the man and he hasn't got the ball with him anymore. And, at the time when it was in motion, I thought it was the keeper that would have given the foul away because of the way that he's grabbed onto the ball like that. And Mudryk was right on it. But now looking at it back, I think you can call it either way, to be fair. But
yeah.
When it goes to a screen, it's a penalty. But in the heat of the moment, I can understand being like, nope, it's all upper body. It's fine, and there's no contact on the legs. But as I said, I think he just underestimated how strong Mudryk would be, and he's just put a little bit too much into it, and he followed through.
Yeah, it's one of them when you're going at that speed. And I can't speak for yourself, but myself as a I'm not going to sit here and lie. A cumbersome centre back. I don't know about the speeds that Mudryk was going at. I can't run that fucking fast. But when you trip someone that fast, and I've done that before, I mean, them don't go flying, bro. So I can understand how, you know, it might have looked like he was diving. Yeah, a little bit of contact goes, but when you're that fast, I mean,
No,
it's not
I don't think it was
it's
a
not
dive at
Mudrik's
all.
fault. He's that fast, and I agree, man. James Milner obviously went in with the shoulder, which would have been a fair challenge. And I think Brighton's argument is that, and which is fair, Mudryk wouldn't have got the ball if Milner hadn't have made the challenge. But end of the day, he did make the challenge. His feet, he got tangled up with Mudryk's legs. It was a penalty, and obviously well dispatched by Enzo Fernandez. Very coolly done down the middle. But yeah, before we jump into more individual team reactions, because, you know, just a heads up for anyone watching, we are going to be delving into this and not looking at the comments for the next 15, 30 minutes. But just AMG, you're the boy. I appreciate it. If that's just for real, you're my guy, man. Just make sure to log into, you know, 4 different accounts, so you're not all just registering. But you're goated, man. Goated. Taking it back to the Man United Chelsea predictions, 2-1 Chelsea for Kieran. Yeah, I feel that. I mean, I think it's going to be a close game, no matter how well we play. I just think we're so toothless, bro, when it comes to being ruthless and clinical and finishing a game off. Obviously, Shooter was saying he'll happily take your money. You should have your way with the ball because our midfield is pants and tactics non-existent. What, Shooter? You're not rating Kobe Mainoo, bro? I'm so glad the geezer's finally getting a run of games. Rob told us, if you're watching this now, go back and watch the Two Blues episode where we spoke to Rob, a Man United lead academy scout, who told us about Kobe Mainoo way before he started playing for Man United. Way before he started playing for the first team consistently. So yeah, man, go back to Two Blues, scroll through all 80 episodes. We are on 80 episodes, people. If you're still with us from episode 1, smash that like button. Get yourself active in the comments. We appreciate you. But yeah, you boys have one striker. I'm fairly comfortable. Can't trouble our defense. I said I didn't want to talk too much about negatives. But come on, man. We'll start, instead of starting from the back, let's twist it up. Let's start from the front. Thoughts on Nico Jackson today?
All right. I want to start this with a question. Do you think that the Astrid Wet situation had anything to do with Do you think the Astrid Wet situation had anything to do with his performance today?
I'm going to be honest. My first response to this is I've gone out of my way to not comment on this because I just do not want to give it any clout, to give it any mention, to give the whole situation, because she has engineered this and it is so detrimental to the team. No one stands to gain anything from this but her. So fuck Astrid Wet, everything she stands for. She is an absolute dusty cunt. And if you subscribe to her, bro, go and look at yourself in the mirror and then fucking smash her head in that mirror until you see blood, bro. I mean, wagwan for you, G. Wagwan for your life. Man said £6. What is it? £6 a month, bro. Might even be more. £6 a month for your life. That's 66 quid, bro. That's a new pair of trainers every year, bro. And you're spending on some, bro. Right, but
let's be real. She's mid as well.
Let's move on. I mean, to be honest, I don't think it impacted him because I don't think he's at that level of thinking. I think he's more of a let me just stand offside and see what I want kind of guy. I've been very, 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 bro. I've been very, very. I've been praising Jackson. I've been singing his praises for so long. I've been giving him so many excuses. I've stood behind him, but I'm fed up with the guy standing offside. Look along the line. I'm fed up with the guy getting in the wrong positions. I think he did one good thing today, which was when I can't remember what minute it was. I think it was in the first half when he took the ball to the byline, skipped past the centre back. I think it was Van der Ven or whatever, and pulled it into Enzo Fernandez, who probably should have done better with a header. But that aside, did he have a big chance? Did he have a shot on target? No. Did he have a chance that you can remember? I mean, his only saving grace. And it's not exactly a saving grace for us, but his only saving grace is that obviously when Broja came on, and I was shouting for Broja to start this game, Broja weren't much better, bro. I mean, Broja came on last week, ran around for 25 minutes. I know we were getting absolutely thumped by Newcastle, but we've gone from, obviously, you know, I know it was situational, but we've gone from having a striker that's bagged a hat-trick against Tottenham and scored against Manchester City to, you know, back to a striker that can't hit a barn door with a banana skin, bro. I'm really struggling to see what this Chelsea squad does if we don't go in January. And I mean, Shooter says, is Ivan Toney not an option? I would have thought so. Brentford have come out this week and said that he's not for sale. So, I mean, Charms, talk to me, bro. If let's say hypothetically Tony's not available, or we don't go for Tony in January, what are you doing? Are you going for another striker? Are you keeping faith in these guys? How are you feeling at the moment?
I think that if they're saying he's not for sale, then Chelsea have already bought Osimhen. I think that the only players that we were looking at was Osimhen and Tony. I've had nothing in an update on the Osimhen side, at least. I've heard a bit about the Tony situation, which was that Chelsea is still interested, and then now he's not for sale. But then again, is he a Brentford player, or is he a Betfred FC type of man right now? But I think that Chelsea will definitely put in an offer that Brentford could refuse. Let's be real, but probably shouldn't for their own benefit and for ours. They've been doing well without him. I think that Mbamo has been great in his stead, and obviously he's a bit deeper down the pitch, but even Wisser, who's been playing as an all-out striker, he had a good first half of the season, been a bit quiet as of recent. I don't know if that's due to injury or if he's been out the fold or something, but I haven't seen his name get brought up in quite a while.
I don't think so. I think he's been playing. He just hasn't been scoring.
I think he's just been poor, to be fair, and I don't want you to Brentford for that to be true, but I haven't heard anything about being injured, so it just seems to me like they've got that going right now. They've been playing decent football and they've been getting results here and there. Yeah, Ivan Toney would probably give them another 10 goals in the year, but he would probably give Chelsea another 15 goals in the year. And I think that if they hear the money, they'll take it. 50 million for a player like that right now. There's no promises as to his form. There's no promises. We don't have a clue where he is from a physical standpoint. I'm sure that they would know. And I would do him for 50 million. Pause. I would take him for 50 million. I'm sure they would accept 50 million for him. I'm sure they could do wonders with that money. Moneyball it. They do exactly what they did to build that team and just buy low key players and then sell them off for big dough. You've seen it working time and time again. I think maybe it's Brentford's time to get a bit of financial rub with that tactic, because all the teams around them have done it. Villa have done that. Newcastle were doing it for a bit. Brighton experts at it. West Ham were doing it for a bit. I think it's their time that these players start getting sold off and they start bringing the money in and they can really put it in the right places. And I think Ivan Toney's the perfect starting point, particularly with how long he's been out for, and no urgent cry to want him right now anyways.
I agree. I mean, I think from a Brentford perspective, and I mean, obviously I don't watch every Brentford game 90 minutes week in, week out, but, seeing the performances, seeing the scorelines and what Mbemo and Wisser are doing up front, as well as Mopé, yesterday I don't want to say blew away Luton because, it's only Luton, but, they put in a great performance. They are doing well for a mid-table team, and they are kind of on that cusp of becoming that Aston Villa, that Brighton, challenging for those European places, and have been for a couple of seasons. They play some very, very good football under Thomas Frank. And as long as they can keep him, I mean, it's like you said, I think it's a very, very good situation for Brentford, to kind of sit back and say, look, we could bring Ivan Toney back into this team and change it back up and fit around him and move Mbeumo back out wide or play with him up top. Or we could reinvest, we could take you say 50, they could probably get 60, 70 million for Ivan Toney. You could take that 60, 70 million, invest it in the areas of the squad that you do need depth and improvement, because Brian Mbeumo has stepped up. He's been absolutely fantastic. You wouldn't have known that if you would have said to a non-football watcher that Ivan Toney, look at how Brentford have been performing this season compared to last season, and not showing them the goal scores or anything, you wouldn't have been able to say, they've had their best striker they've had their best player, by a country mile taken out. They've still been performing very, very admirably week in, week out. So I do think it would be a fairly smart decision for them to cash in. Napoli, I mean, I suppose it's like Brentford in terms of they have their pick of who they want. There are going to be no shortage of clubs in for Victor Osimhen. I think his biggest price, I don't think he'll do as well this year as he did last year. So I don't know if in hindsight they, will turn around and say, maybe we should have sold him for 150 last year when he was off, 36 goals, all comps, whatever it is. But they'll still definitely be able to get 100 mil for him. Do you really want to go out and spend 100 mil on a striker that isn't? Let's be honest. Osimhen is a world-class striker, one of, if not the best in world football. But I just think with Chelsea's track record, and maybe it's because I like him and I don't want to see that happen to him, but I just think with Chelsea's track record, I feel like spending 100 mil on a striker like Osimhen might just bomb.
Yeah, I can understand the perspective, definitely, you know, especially with the curse of the number 9. Like, you know, we spend as much money as you want on him, he comes down and he's absolutely Alvaro Moratas. Sorry, Radamel Falcao's. Sorry, every other striker not called Diego Costa or Didier Drogba. But yeah, man, you know, like, you know, Romelu Lukaku, sorry. But yeah, you know, it's one of them ones where if he comes down, I do love the guy. I love the way that he plays. You know, you almost stop yourself from saying it, but you know, he's not like as prolific as he was. You know what I mean? He doesn't bag the same amount of goal. Obviously, it's only a season ago, so it's very harsh. But he's never played in the Premier League. He's physical. He's fast. Yeah, stylistically, he can do it. He does play very similar to Nicholas Jackson in terms of he does lots of creep on that offside line, and it's a very, very fine margin thing to do. And in the Premier League, you know, a lot of those defensive partnerships have got that shit down to a team, and they know exactly where they are at all times. And it's not like the Italian league where, you know, you turn around and like left back chat with a fan real quick. It's just not the same level of intensity. Like, and you know, Victor Osimhen, quality, done it in the Champions League, done it time and time again. But you know, it's not Kvaratskhelia. He's an out-and-out striker. He's got one role. He doesn't play multiple roles like Kvaratskhelia, and he knows what he's there to do. And it's just a question of will he or won't he? And if there is a 50-50, I wouldn't want to take that risk. I'd rather do it with a striker like Ivan Toney. He's proven he can bully Premier League defences. And if you can do that, I reckon you can do it in Europe. And, you know, say what you want, but the Premier League is the best league in world football in attack, midfield, defence, and goal. There's not two ways about it. So yeah, man, you know, with a Brentford side, for you to be on like top 10 goal scorers of the year, you know, let alone top 5, the way Ivan Toney's been banging them in the last couple of seasons, ridiculous output when you actually look at who's been providing the service, you know, under Thomas Frank's tutelage, who's an amazing coach, should I say. No, but he's not a Carlo Ancelotti, you know, he's not one of those minds in football that revolutionised the wheel, you know, and if he was put under one of those minds, one of those tutelages, and you know, I think we can go as far as to say Pochettino, over his full career, is a world-class manager. You know, he's in the top 0.1% of managers who have ever done it. You know, there's so many managers, and what he can bring out of players, I think it's really good thing. So it'd be nice to see what he can bring out of Ivan Toney. You know, if he was to give him that confidence, like, listen, you're our man. I see 25 goals in you this season, and I said the same thing to Harry Kane.
I mean, it's inevitable. Whether Chelsea go in for a striker in January or whether we go in for one in summer, it's inevitable that we spend big money on a striker. I mean, the sentimental part of me and the majority of me, you know, everything kind of says, don't go for a striker. You know, you have faith in Nicholas Jackson and Breyer. They might be young, but they have the quality to do the job necessary. But I do think with the track record that Bowley has had, it's silly to assume that we're not going to go out and spend big money in January. We're not going to spend big money every transfer window. Every time we get an opportunity, we're not going to go and spend big money to improve the squad. So I can't imagine it will be a long time until one of these big money strikers is at Chelsea. I just really hope it is someone that, I mean, Premier League proven is always my best metric and always the way that I think is the best way to qualify a striker in terms of being able to transition and fit into a squad quickly. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. There are world-class players out there that are fitting immediately. There are world-class players that have absolutely flopped. It's a guessing game. And with Chelsea, I mean, the odds are even wilder than they are with any other squad. But obviously, yeah, bringing ourselves away from January and I suppose back to tonight. In terms of player performances, now we mentioned Enzo, Thiago Silva, the main two top performers tonight. I thought both of them absolutely sublime. Enzo, my man of the match. You mentioned Moises Caicedo. Obviously, we discussed Nico Jackson as well. You got a bit to discuss on Moises Caicedo?
Rash. I thought his performance today was very childish. I thought it was very, you know, like, well, you've already gone down a man and you've been booked in this half and you're still making fucking like slide challenges from like the 45 yards out when There's not an immediate threat. And it just seems very like, I want to be involved. I want to be involved. It was very like little brother, like jumping in, like trying to like put in the last leg. And it's like, you just got to book him and send him off so he just don't play. And he feels like there's a reason behind it. It was like one of them ones. And, you know, he was lucky to stay on that pitch because there was a little instance where I think it was him and Enzo. They kind of slide indoor one of the defenders and they play advantage because it goes back to one of them. And if it hadn't have played advantage and he gets called, it has to be a yellow because of the nature of the challenge. They play advantage, and then within 3 minutes, the whistle's blown. Caicedo's on the end of a foul. With that, bear in mind that had just happened. Had a warning from the referee. He's given another warning. Don't
bro.
do that.
And the ref was like 10 yards away, bro. He did it
ref
in front of the
there.
ref.
He's literally closer than me and you are on stream right now. He's literally next to each other, and he literally lets it happen. Ref sees it. He doesn't book him. He gives him a firm warning, like Moises, no more.
Hey, what did I tell you? What did I tell you?
That's what I'm saying. Billy Gilmore must be one of the calmest, like, emotion people I've ever seen, like, play ball. He's, like, barely got a personality. Yeah.
Booking for dissent. What?
And he gets a booking for dissent, bro, because he's just...
Where's that Billy Gilmore been?
First of all, let's go, Bill, showing a little bit of heart.
Come on.
Yeah. Secondly, come on, Billy. Chelsea, blood. Come on, G, chill out. Thirdly, there's no way that referee was... If Billy Gilmore is telling you, fucking book that cunt, bro. Look at that, man. He's already got a booking and 2 challenges. And you got to think about it, man. There's a clear cause behind it. And I won't lie, fair enough. For the next 25 minutes, Caicedo's like... he was very like, I'm not jumping into nothing.
He just kept to his, he was working in very fine parameters. He just wasn't playing.
And he did his job, and he got the ball back.
Every time he went to an opposition player, you could feel Poch's eyes burning in the side of his head. He was like, maybe I don't make that tackle. Maybe Enzo, hey, come here.
But he stayed on the pitch, and this is another thing. He stayed on the pitch for so long. Well, he should have got subbed off. Like even when we were bringing on Cole Palmer, I thought there was going to be a little formal reshuffle, and then Palmer would come on, and Caicedo would come off, and he would drop a little bit back, and Enzo would play a 6. And
Palmer was warming up. Palmer was on the side, ready to come on for like 20 minutes. Yeah, I agree. Obviously, you said about those 2 decisions. After the first one, I said get Caicedo off now, and then he went to made that second decision, and I was just like, I mean, it doesn't make sense, but surely Palmer's coming on for Caicedo, and he wasn't, and I was just like, bro,
what's happening?
But I mean, obviously, yeah, did well to toe the line. Maybe have been, as we said, lucky to stay on if we're not being biased. But Conor Gallagher, bro, a year older than Caicedo and wearing the captain's armband. Obviously, Reece James last week, I slated him. I mean, we both went in on him. I absolutely slated him. Reece James is one of my favourite Chelsea players. Absolutely fantastic. Very happy with the fact that he is captain and our first choice right back. I think he is the best right back in the Premier League on his day. What he did last week, absolutely disgraceful. The lack of discipline, just awful. Front to back, 0 out of 10 performance. You know, nothing more said, move on. He put out a massive apology. Even after that, I was cussing him out, bro. Conor Gallagher today, to have seen that and to go, I'm going to put on the captain's armband and do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
If not worse, bro, because he actually...
I think it was worse.
I mean, James's was stupid, but Gallagher's were actually not proper dangerous challenges.
Deliberate,
Yeah, it was deliberate, proper stupid. And he was getting up going, I promise, ref, I got the ball. And we were like, bro, we've got how many cameras? Why even trying? And
trying to argue
I said this earlier, and I want to hear your thoughts on it, because I said earlier, I don't know whether it's because obviously Lavia, who we bought for big money in the summer, still out injured, no chance, no sniff of a chance in the squad. Obviously, Poch's got this this system whereby Reece James is the captain, Chilwell's the vice captain, Gallagher's third vice captain. Gallagher has seemingly been fairly undroppable, and yes, he's put in some great performances in the last few weeks, but. Or this season, but last couple of weeks, they have dropped off. And I'm not talking like 5, 6 out of 10 performances, but they have noticeably dropped off from the level that they were before. Do you think that because he doesn't have this challenge, and because Poch has seemingly decided on this midfield 3 And if he drops one, is dropping Enzo Caicedo. Do you feel like Gallagher may be a little bit complacent now?
Yeah, I could imagine there's a confidence thing. It gets into you a little bit. You know the position you're in. You know your importance to the squad. You know what your future role is, and there is probably a bit of complacency just by default. I wouldn't blame him for that as a personal thing. My problem is with him is like he's one of those players that was under a lot of scrutiny from quite early in his career. And we can both attest to that. We weren't the kindest to Conor Gallagher when he was first coming into the fold. We said it how it is. I thought that he's a Norwich player. He's a Todd Cantwell level player. That was genuinely my take on it. And it's so violent listening back to it.
That's deep, bro. That's a vibe, bro. You know what? This whole time as well, I thought I was going way too harsh. I thought you were like more pro Gallagher than me, but bro, that was a vibe.
Yeah, no, I thought it was like Billy Gilmore.
Must have go ball out with Timo Pukki and them man there.
I thought it was one of them ones, bro. I genuinely thought it was one of them ones. And he's shut me up quite a bit this year with his performances. He's looked like a dog. He's looked hungry. He looked like he wants it. He puts a foot in. He will talk. He'll talk to his team. He'll talk to the ref. He'll play like a captain when he's called to. And, you have to respect it. It's not all the time. And it's difficult because sometimes it's like you want your captain to be a bit more in someone's face, a little bit more verbal, and he's doing it. But it's almost like it's like a my first captaincy starter kit, and I CBA for any of that right now, dude. I don't want someone learning how to be a leader right now. Like I want a Martin Luther. I want someone who's going to start a fucking riot out there. I want someone who's going to take a game 3-0, make it 4-3 in their own hands, the way a John Terry would, the way a Frank Lampard would, the way those players would.
Bro, what's in a captaincy starter kit?
Well, a little bit of verbal, a little bit.
I want to. I'm looking for Christmas presents for my family, and you've got me. No, I can't lie. You got me hooked. Captaincy starter kit.
My first captaincy.
Wait, hold on. First thing comes in rainbow armband.
Yeah. Rainbow armband and a BLM.
What else comes in the kit?
Yeah, it's an I can't breathe face mask, and it's so tough. So tough. It also comes with
a 500 dirhams.
Yeah. And apparently, if you're a Chelsea fan, it comes with a red card in it as well.
Signed from the Premier League.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
from Anthony Taylor. Oh,
in dirham. Yeah, exactly. That's crazy, man. That's tough. But yeah, man. What we're selling them now, Two Blues, my first captaincy starter kit. Get online, grab yourself a merch. That would be such a good bit of merch, wouldn't it?
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's Christmas season, man. It's time. We've been doing this for over a year now. It's time to cash in on Two Blues. Exactly. I'm bored of waiting for monetization.
I can't wait for
notice on that
to give us like 30% of their wage.
Bro, where's Lemon? I mean, just MG's in the chat. Where's Lemon at? Make sure, by the way, guys, to like, comment, subscribe to the channel.
Banned him, Danny. I can't lie. He had to make a new account because you blocked
it. Temporary. Yeah, but that was a temporary thing. Yeah, he keeps messaging on the Instagram as well. Lemon, if you're watching, we love you, my guy. Jump back in. Onto the ball. Scott joining us. Appreciate you, my guy. See if it might be, Scott, if you're still watching. I don't know if you're about on Wednesday. You and Trav, or just Trav, or I mean, if you're about as well, would love to have you on. Do something for Chelsea, Man United. Let us know, bro.
If not, we could just flame you behind your backs. Oh wait, yeah, you're dirty.
Liverpool are flying. Yeah, I mean,
I meant Trav. Yeah,
I don't know how they managed to pull it off today. What a goal, by the way. Have you seen the Liverpool highlights?
I'm not gonna lie. I saw everything up to 3-3. I didn't see the winner.
You saw the McAllister goal though.
Yeah, Wildy.
Bro, I can't believe. I mean, yes, great free kick. I can't believe, man, we're talking about Trent. McAllister, bro, the tech on that.
Yeah, the tech is. It's just a time and a place thing, and I think people have been really, really waiting for Trent to have one of those moments. He had a few with him.
He did score the fourth, bro. I don't know. He did score the fourth. You said you didn't see the fourth.
No, I know that he scored. I know that he got the winner because I saw the celebration. Because I went on Instagram about 3 minutes after it happened, and all my Liverpool fans just suddenly had a story active. And it's all of them just going.
They just mysteriously popped out the woodwork as they do.
It's just mental because it's like when Chelsea, had that Tottenham game, and I felt like we were riding a high. 9 men down and a battering ram and 4 goals. It was like a wild. I was still calling our negatives. I was still like, listen, it's good, but we got to calm down a little bit because I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. 9 men, this and that, and These are acting like it's Champions League final. I think it's Istanbul. They don't understand that it was 3-2 to Fulham in the 85th minute. You're supposed to compete for the league, bro. You had a team that had Mitrovic as their starting striker, like star player, best player of all time they've had is Willian, yeah? And you're telling me
Willian.
best player you've ever had in your history of your club is Willian, yeah? And you're
He's
telling me
not playing Tim Ream, bro.
them man have got a Don whose last name is literally Ream at playing 38 games a season, yeah? And you were 3-2 down at 85th minute. And then just because Trent goes and scores, he goes over to the crowd and he's like giving it the big one and he's got everyone jumping on his back. It's like a banger, isn't it? It's like, it does my head in. It's like these men are celebrating 3-2, 4-3 wins. Oh, Fulham, it's bugging Doug. You conceded 3 goals to Fulham. Mental to
you forgot the scoreline for a minute. You forgot that we're celebrating 3-2 win over Brighton there for a minute.
But this is what I'm going to say.
No, Liverpool can catch all the smoke though, because I took what.
2 questions, Dan. 2 questions for you. Who's a better side at the minute in form wise, Chelsea or Liverpool? Okay.
Who was the second team?
Liverpool.
Form wise, are we being honest or are we taking
Chelsea? Honest, yeah, totally honest. This season, who's been in better form, Liverpool or Chelsea?
Well, Liverpool.
And then if you were to compare Fulham with Brighton, who's been a better side so far this season? Brighton. Yeah. So the worst team plays the better team.
I feel like I'm answering a trick question. I can't lie.
No, because it's what I'm saying.
I feel like I'm a school.
Yeah, literally. It's a school saying. A team
I've got about 28 13-year-olds looking at me right now, looking for the answer. Bro, I'm here. I'm like, miss? I don't know.
From the time you said you had 13-year-olds
what element?
On God, let's just shut the stream off. No, but I just mean like a team
what element?
Better form. A team who's been in better form plays a team who's been in worse form, celebrate like it's Champions League final. We're coming off of being a man down in worse form than they are against a team better than the one that they played. I'm not celebrating nothing. I'm happy we got 3 points. And I'm actually, we've drawn so many negatives out of today's game. It's low-key impressive. You know, we spoke about, the only thing we spoke positive about is 2 players, you know, Thiago Silva, who you cannot not give credit to, and Enzo, who scored a brace and was best player on the pitch by a country mile. He would have been in most of the games played today. So it's just funny because it's just like, you look at the difference in mentality, and, you know, I'm not saying nothing about like you, for example, Scott, because if you're still watching this, I don't know how you feel, but if you were down the pub with your Heineken going all over the air, you need to pattern up. Simple as, you need to fix up and do your top button up, because it was 4-3. I'm sorry, it was 4-3 to Fulham. It's unacceptable by your own standards. You're supposed to challenge for the league. Sit down in the corner and think about what you've done. Simple. You're supposed to challenge Liverpool. No, sorry, City.
I feel so personally attacked right now.
Good. You should do, and I can't imagine how Scott feels right now.
I'm having flashbacks of celebrating wins against Burnley and Sheffield and Wimbledon, bro, and beer flying everywhere. Do you not remember the World Cup when man were throwing beer over, beating man like Malta and throwing beer? Come on, man, it's all part of the banter. But no, Scott, I don't know if you're still with us, but yeah, City can be got out. We all know that now. Well, we all knew that when I'm sorry, who needs to be Charms? Who needs to be thanked for opening the floodgates for City to be got at? Who showed the world these men are beatable? Who finessed it?
Wait. I think it was that. Who was it? They scored. I remember they scored 4. I remember they scored 4, and they weren't in the greatest of form, and they somehow went there and stuffed their bumper clock thing. I can't quite remember. I think it was. Did Nicholas Jackson score a hat-trick a week before? I think it was us, lad. Simple as. And this is the thing, you know, people talk about us versus City all the time, and they always want City to be this like massive favourite. Look at the head-to-head. Simple. Do the same thing with Tottenham as well. And until you can show me something I won't like, I want all you Man City fans to hold your lips. We beat you in the Champions League final when we were 4-1 underdog. We made our one player we spent 70 million on make his price worth. So cheers for that, guys. Thank you kindly. We'll see you there next time. We'll probably beat you again. But yeah, man, I don't understand why Tottenham and City fans feel like they have anything to give us. You know, at least United fans sometimes squeeze out a win.
Yeah, I don't know why. They seem to be our bogey team. I know we were getting confident about it earlier, but even when we're in good stead, even when United are in the mud,
do us, mate.
we tend to get battered, bruv. But I was just gonna shout him out as well. He's still in the cut. Sorry, OMG. Sorry, bro. I was about to say if he's still in, he's not gonna like what we've just been talking about. But shout out to OMG and shout out to Moshe as well, joining the chat with some
Yes,
intellectual
Moshe.
conversation.
Okay.
Okay. You said
Right.
only talked about Enzo Fernandez and Thiago Silva as positives. You got no more positive performances to talk about?
No, I do. I got Mikhailo Mudryk, man. I want to shout him out, bro. He
talk
did
about
well
Mikhailo
today,
Mudryk, bro.
man.
Talk to me.
He did well, man. He's getting in behind players. His confidence is very, very clearly going up match by match. And he looks hungry to score. He looks ready to score. And, it's weird to say this because it just feels so fugazi. But do you see like a mental difference in his approach to the game? Because I do. I think he's been way more cerebral now. It's like he's thinking about what's happening. He's not just... Before, I felt like he was kind of forcing himself into the flow of the game, sprinting in behind lines that weren't necessarily there, hungry to make newspapers. And I feel like today he was part of a team, and I really like that performance from him.
I do. I agree with you, but I think it's a catch-22. I think there are positives to it and there are negatives to it because he is a player that relies so much on his raw pace and his raw skill and his ability to get in behind. He essentially his main sell as a winger is his ability to beat his man down the line, his ability to put it past his man down the line. And when he hesitates, when he thinks about it, because you look at players like Jack Grealish, who were fantastic at, one-on-one going past your man at Aston Villa. When he goes to Pep Guardiola, yes, his ball retention is fantastic. When he's involved in the build-up play, it's fantastic. He gets on the end of chances, but he doesn't go one-on-one as much. And Mudryk, I feel like his main talent and his best ability is going one-on-one, and he should just lean into that. And I feel like if he was to play off the back line like Salah, I mean, I know obviously Jackson judges it terribly, but if Mudryk was to do the same thing as Jackson and just kind of wait on the back line and just, I mean, I don't want to say we want to go long route one, but Mudryk has the pace, has the ability to make that happen. And he just, and sometimes today he looked a little bit hesitant. It was kind of in that first half, I was 50-50. Obviously, I'm a massive fan of Mudryk, want him to get the minutes and the time. And I feel like the best that we've seen of Mikhailo Mudryk is when we get an extended run of game time, an extended run of games from him. Obviously, the last time we got that was, when he scored against Fulham and that. And then he got injured again. We've been easing him back into the squad ever since. Today was, I think, probably the most game time he's got in a while. And that chart, I think it was about 38, 39 minutes. And I made a mental note of when it was. Do you remember he received the ball just inside the other half, and he turned the Brighton man, I think it was Veltman, and he did the little Cruyff that Hazard did, and he left him for dead. Veltman had yards on him, bro. Veltman had 3-4 yards on him, and Mudryk and he got the ball centre. And I mean, I know he was playing as like a false nine later on in the game, and that doesn't suit him. He's not new to them. But when he does those little things, and I know I've compared him to Hazard before, and I will never say it's talent-wise, because obviously Hazard clear of him in terms of age and where he was at this point in his career. Hazard is so far clear. But in terms of his unpredictability, his ability to drop a shoulder, beat a man, beat his defender, go at someone one-on-one, there are very few players that can do it like Mikhailo Mudryk. And he is becoming more ambidextrous in terms of his ability to put the ball in the box in the final third. His crossing's getting better. Yes, Jackson at the moment isn't in the right areas, and there are 2-3 components of the move that aren't there. But yeah, I mean, Mikhailo Mudryk, I mean, I was disappointed that Madueke didn't get any minutes today. But Mikhailo Mudryk is a player that I think I'm very, very happy with his performance at the moment. And I think he's a huge player for this Chelsea squad going forward for the next 2-3 years. He has the potential to be worth every single penny of his transfer fee.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. The footballing ability's there. He's very marketable. Obviously, he's been through a lot. He's a good kid, it seems like. He seems like he's not posting thirst traps, doing up chopper chills. He seems to be quite focused on his job and on his ball. And I can see he really wants to play for the club. He does point at the badge a lot when he bags in that, innit? So he's very like, I'm here to stay. And I think he does want to prove himself. And I think it will come. We've said it time and time again that Mudryk will come good. I feel like that's a statement I've said at least 15, 20 times to people this season. And, the performances are going there. You're right. He was pretty hesitant, but then again, it's the small things. It's the little touch turn and the burst of pace. And once he's able to figure out the whens and the wheres, because he knows how, he knows what, it's just the when and the where, and who is just a question of what day of the week it is. I think that he's got the smaller things down pat. It's just the bigger things that are very trainable. But this is the thing I like about him, is everything I think that he doesn't have is coachable. All the uncoachable stuff, the mindset, the grit, the raw pace and talent, he's got all of it in abundances. Yeah. And I think that that's going to be a really big thing coming down the line, because it just, honestly, it depends on the attention he gets, keeping his mental high, keeping confident, and getting those little bits of experience and training and just overall just footballing IQ that will push him over the edge. And I think that he will come good as a very, very, very high quality player. One thing I wanted to just ask you about is how much did you shit yourself when Adam Lallana nearly scored goal of the year just randomly at one point in the 70th minute?
I mean, there were multiple points. This is going to be the best alliteration of the two Blues. There were multiple points where there was poo in my pants during that second half, but fucking hell, when Lallana could try, because I was just like, yeah, ex-Liverpool Don, he's obviously just going to cream it into the top corner. Sanchez is going to be
yeah.
Bro, yeah, it was.
He literally flipped it up and spun on a dime. I was like, whoa. As soon as he moved and got to it, I was like, shit, they've given it.
Bro, any time the ball was in our 18-yard box, bro, I was not confident today. I mean, it was just any time after that, Sanchez.
It felt weird, yeah.
But yeah, man, I just want to say as well, shout out. I mean, that was a good way of putting it. I don't think I've ever really, I haven't seen it or I haven't said it like that as well. Mudryk has talents that you can't teach, but he can learn the talents that he needs, whereas other players have coachable talents, but not the talents like the raw pace, the raw skill, the unpredictability. So, I think Mudryk's a fantastic player. I think he'd be able to do damage against Wan-Bissaka. I know Wan-Bissaka is a fantastic defender one-on-one, but I think Mudryk has the edge on him in terms of the pace and will be able to do a job on him on Wednesday. So hopefully,
Mudryk's not exactly an Mbappe or someone like that who could just get locked up by Wan-Bissaka.
How highly are you rating our? Hold on.
It's a piss take, bro. It's a piss take because United fans bang on about that one performance where he pocketed Mbappe. And
I can't lie. I do not. That is not in my. I mean, I got a short-term memory loss, but yeah, I don't remember that. Aaron Wan-Bissaka pocketing Mbappe. That sounds like a dream you had, bro. You sure that's not a dream you had?
On God, he pocketed.
That sounds like an alternate reality. Bro's been invested in what
Shooter. If you're still here, bro. Like it happened, bro. He did pocket him for 90 minutes at one point last year, and it was weird to see. But it's literally Aaron Wan-Bissaka's one amazing performance, and that was that. And listen, fair enough, innit? Fair enough. I'm just saying, like, wait, what do you mean went for it? I'm literally complimenting the AEW bit. I'm literally saying he had a great game against Mbappe, and Mykhailo Mudryk's way clear of Mbappe. So.
I don't know, bro. Yeah, I mean, you're dick riding somebody that's not a Chelsea player, but I don't know who, bro. I'm lost over here. But yeah, man. IMG. I mean, we've talked pretty much about all of Chelsea's performers. We mentioned earlier, Disasi, Badiashile, solid performances at the back. Obviously, we're back to proper back four against Manchester United with Cucurella and Reece James in midweek. But 4 centre backs, solid job today. The midfield. Solid job. Out wide, Sterling, another fairly good shift today. I think there were a couple of situations he could have worked a bit harder, tracked back a bit better, but on the whole, pretty solid. Can't complain. Obviously, Nico Jackson, we've said our piece. And yeah, Mykhailo Mudryk, we've said our piece on him. So yeah, man. Pochettino steering the ship in the right direction. It was confirmed today. Is it Preston in the FA Cup? I think it was confirmed today. Yes. Preston in the FA Cup in the third round of the FA Cup, January 6th, 7th.
Yes.
If I'm incorrect, tell me it's Preston or someone that sounds like Preston. But yeah, obviously another cup competition for Pochettino. Domestic treble still on.
That's what I'm saying.
Definitely on the cards. Easy money. But yeah, man. If you're still watching, appreciate you. Thanks very much for tuning in. Shooter, you've been here pretty much the whole hour. Appreciate you, my guy. We have to get you on here. Wait, Shooter's a Man United fan, isn't it?
Sadly, yes.
Shooter, do you want to get involved? Are you around on Wednesday night?
He's 100% around Wednesday night.
Shooter, do you want to get involved on Wednesday night, bro? Let me know in the chat. We're looking this off in about 30 seconds. We're about to start running up the outro. Let me know if you're about on Wednesday night. If you want to do a pre-match, post-match, get involved on the channel, man. We'd love to have you on. Promote the fuck out of C Money picks and all them thing there. But yeah, man. Hey, it didn't even need the 30 seconds, my guy. Well. We'll get you involved. I'll get C Money to send you the link. Let's fucking go. But yeah, man, you know what it is. You know what we do. Chelsea.
This motherfucker's gonna come here with a notepad. He's gonna be like ticking off everything.
We're in the top half. We finished the weekend in the top half.
It's coming. Oh, it's coming.
Fucking hell. My guy. All right, guys. Make sure at Two Blues Podcast on the Instagram, on the TikTok, go and follow that shit. Go and like all the shorts. Go and do all the damn thing. Make sure to like. Make sure to comment. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We are very close. We just hit 900 subscribers. Thank you I'm trying so hard to keep a straight face right now. We have just made 900 subscribers. We are so close to 1,000. Make sure to go and tell your nan, tell your granddad, tell your nursing home. Go and follow them thing there. 25 easy subs, and they won't even remember it because they've all got Alzheimer's. So make sure to go and do that thing there. And Wednesday night, Chelsea versus Manchester United. We are going to be going hard, bro. We're going to be going pre-match. We're going to be going post-match. We're going to be doing content all day, bro. Make sure to follow up Two Blues Podcast on every single channel. We out.